Hi, everyone.
Kia ora, everyone.
We have a very special podcast for you today.
We do.
It's all about jealousy, which is something that I know I have felt a lot growing up. Like, I think I was a little green-eyed monster. And this is the first episode of a 3-part series that we're doing all about relationships, jealousy, communication, anger. But we've based it on your stories.
Yeah.
So you all
really good.
pulled through for us.
Juicy stories.
Yeah, like I love it when the girlies are just giving no shame.
Yeah.
We were like, do you have anything about jealousy? Do you have anything about anger? They said, yeah. Yeah, we do. So we basically wanted to make this 3-part series to show us all that we're human.
Mm-hmm.
We all feel these things. And basically just talk through some of your stories and either validate you or say, okay, maybe
we should change this up a little bit.
maybe here's some tactics for us getting through this. So I am going to start with a story we got sent because I just think we should start with the girlies.
That was a goodie.
I was insanely jealous of my partner's ex-girlfriend who she was still friends with. One year for my partner's birthday, we had a house party and she invited this ex to attend. I was so jealous that when she arrived, I locked myself in the downstairs bathroom for 2 hours because I was too scared to come out. It was a circus-themed costume party and I was dressed as a sexy clown. No part of me felt sexy, but I was definitely clowning.
No, that makes me cringe inside.
No, because like, you know when you've also had a few drinks?
Yes, and you can't help it.
And you can't.
It
and
just
like,
comes out.
But also, like, that is one of the fairest times to feel jealous. Like,
oh, yeah.
you're in a new relationship or in a relationship and then their ex is there.
Yeah.
It's like the most textbook jealousy.
It's like you
sitch.
can think you're the most secure person, but there is just certain situations where it just comes out like a monster.
Yes. And we have been taught that jealousy is a really ugly emotion, but it is a human one. Like,
yeah, it's so normal.
Jealousy's gotten a bad name.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, this is so valid that, and in my instance, jealousy has always shown me what I really, truly want. Okay, but Abby, I want to hear about, like, your history with jealousy.
Okay, so I've been with my partner for so long.
Yeah. Like,
And so we've been through a journey.
Yeah.
Like we were together when we were in high school. And
No, they were together before they were in high school. Yeah.
no, it was high school. It was just high school.
You're right.
Well, but that doesn't really count when you're like 11 or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
And I just remember like jealousy, even with like, we'd go to house parties and I'd be like, who is he talking to? I don't know who that girl is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know her enough. She doesn't talk to me at school.
Yeah. Like the most normal.
The most
Teenage.
normal, yeah. And so I just remember like it really felt like a monster inside you, just like coming out and being like, "Ugh."
Like you can't enjoy your own night doing
Yes.
your own, like you
I
can be
was
talking to
too
whoever
busy
is, but
like thinking about hypothetical situations or like not feeling good enough.
Yeah.
Like so, and it does make you do weird stuff.
Yes.
Like then there was like a period where we like had each other's passwords for Facebook.
Yeah.
And like that is not like that's crossing the line. We did not have to be doing that because then you just read into every little interaction he could have with someone else. Like
No.
it was just like stupid, quite immature.
Yes.
Thankfully, not like that
No.
anymore.
I feel like, well now, so say that was, I mean, at the oldest, that was probably like 18.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Now we're 28.
Yes.
So we've had 10 years of like
Growth.
yeah, and being with each other and
Yes.
like you've figured out each other's communication style. You're just secure as well, but a lot of
Yes.
that comes with time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
back when you're 18 and you don't know that it's gonna be
Everything is
fine.
dire. Like
my God,
everything. Every social interaction is like a stab in the heart kind of thing.
Yes, but like it's so normal.
Yeah.
It is
Yes,
so
because
normal.
everyone else around me was also doing
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
with their situationships, their boyfriends, their like crushes.
It's very normal, but then you touched on something that I think is like the first big picture like thing we should talk about,
Yeah.
which is having each other's passwords and this like level
Yes.
of surveillance and knowledge about what your significant other is doing that like generations before us didn't have.
No.
Our parents didn't have.
No.
It's not okay that we have it. And we actually do have a story about this sort of online monitoring that is available to us now.
Yes.
it
So
away.
someone from the audience has said when they were in their 20s, I dated a guy with insane jealousy issues. He was always convinced I was going to cheat, not only because I had guy friends, but just in general, if a guy spoke to me, he'd break up with me over it and he would get back together again, like the classic
Yeah.
toxic kind of
Yes.
back and forth. Some examples are her gay male friend kissed me on the cheek and my boyfriend saw it and dumped me. And our final breakup act was after he'd forbidden me from seeing any males. He went to Hawaii with his family and I learned that he'd look on Insta where you can see activity of your friends and track what I did. A guy I used to be friends with posted a photo of a lamp and I liked it. My boyfriend texted me, called me a whore and dumped me. His sister also texted me that I was a whore from a lamp. A photo.
Oh my God. Okay. First of all, that is like a really obvious depiction of unhealthy jealousy.
Very toxic.
That man
Yeah.
needs therapy, first of all, because like
Yes.
that's not her fault.
Yeah.
She's allowed, like you're allowed to have friends that are boys.
Yes.
You're allowed to do whatever you want on social media. It's your
Yeah.
social media. But that is like the level of surveillance we have now means that if you want it to be, jealousy can be like a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
Like it can take over your life if you look at the activity tab.
Yes, and I
like,
think that's where the hypotheticals all come in
Yes.
and like the insecurities, the what ifs and the what does this mean? Like I remember Snapchat, you could see people's
yes.
like snap scores, which
Yes.
meant like if you sent a Snapchat, it was 20 points added
Yeah.
to your score or whatever. So then people would be like, my partner's snap score doubled
Yeah,
overnight.
but he
That
wasn't
means he's talking to someone. But like he might have not have been. And so
Yes.
it just causes so much like damage for long term
Yes.
stuff.
like you start distrusting everything, but it's because we have too much access to
Yes.
what everyone is doing all the time. And so it's not just like, blah, blah was seen at a party talking to another girl, like back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, they were seen out talking to another
Yeah.
girl. It was like, he liked this really obscure photo. What does it mean? And it
Yes.
lets your brain have a chance to like go into overdrive.
Yeah.
And just like this level of surveillance is not normal and it's not healthy. And it's
No.
not, especially as a teenager, it's like not our fault when we read into it because you've got all this time and your emotions are so
Yeah.
high. And it's like, well, what else are you going to do with your time?
Yeah.
Except for like online stalk.
So then, unfortunately, it becomes such a big part of the relationship, but it shouldn't
Yes.
be. Like, it should just be you two
Yes.
in person.
And, like,
that should be it.
We were taught that, like, oh, well, he posts photos with all his friends, but he doesn't post photos with me. Or
Yeah.
he posts photos of him and these girls at a party, but not with me. And like we were taught to think that being like shown off online was like a version of they love me, they're showing care. And then if they were doing other stuff online, you'd get jealous of it. But it's like this stuff is all manufactured.
Yes.
Like they can care for you offline and it doesn't have to come online for it to be true. But I do think the online surveillance of it all is just something that I don't know if we've thought about that deeply because it feels so new or like there's not been that many tools. Like I think in schools we should be being taught how like relationships are like one of the biggest things that make your high school experience.
Yes.
Whether it's friendships, whether it's relationships, whether it's like your gender identity. And I'm not sure what the curriculum is like now, but I do think if there's not something in there about online surveillance, not just like social media is bad, it makes you feel bad about yourself, but like, no, we're watching each other all the time.
Like, hey, that shouldn't be normal.
Hey, that's not good. I feel like it's also been normalized because we're obsessed with shows like Love Island. And all these like shows where they are about surveillance. And they are about watching everyone's every move.
And the movie nights that they have is
Yes.
like you get the inside look of what they're talking about behind the scenes. But then that's also like cut up, to
make it bad.
rage bait, basically.
Yes. And that's actually not doing this generation any good, because it is showing us that, like, everything you think that's going on behind the scenes is.
Yeah.
Like, it's showing us that, oh, they got to cuss it in more. They will be cheating.
Yeah.
And to be, like, fair to all of us watching, they are fucking cheating on Casa Amor, at Casa Amor. And the movie night is showing true things, but that is a very hyperbolized, like, that's a TV show.
It's a very unique situation where they're encouraged to go and find more people to do more things with. So it's not real life.
I know, but there's so many reasons that for all of us this is normalized.
Yeah.
Even like those TikToks that would sometimes go viral, that's like, if your name's Jessica and your boyfriend's on the train to London and he's going to meet up with his friends, just know he was talking about the other girl that he saw last night and blah, blah, blah. Like, even the idea that we're having, like, overheard and blah, 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 like, that level of surveillance is, like, global.
Insane.
Is absolutely insane. And so it's no wonder that, like, we are feeling rampantly jealous, or at that age when you're young, you have that much access to information and you haven't been taught what to do with it.
Yes.
You feel so jealous. I also think a big sort of aspect to jealousy is being jealous of the person that they were before you had them or met them. So, like, retroactive jealousy. And we actually have a story about this. So this person says, when I met my boyfriend, I had a considerable body count. He was a virgin and had never had anything close to a girlfriend. He had severe retroactive jealousy for the first 2 years of our relationship. That means he would obsess over what my previous partners looked like, what they did, and would fall into a rabbit hole where he would just stalk them for hours and continue to feel that jealousy. After these episodes of him, like, stalking, he would throw all that at me and try to make me feel guilty for the things I'd done before being with him, whether I'd slept with them, how many times. He wanted to know all of the info just to give me shit about it later. It got pretty bad. He would say very insulting things to me and then apologize, and then he would be reminded of one of my exes, and the cycle would start all over again. So I just want to pause there, because that is, like, his jealousy can be obviously explained by his insecurity.
Yeah.
It cannot be excused by his insecurity.
No, that's a very unfair way to use your jealousy. Like,
Yes.
to manipulate your relationship, or just, like, hold it over her.
A version of her that you didn't
And
even
it
know.
has nothing to do with him.
And it's like,
nothing.
she is with you now. So you have to take it from there.
Yes.
You cannot, just like none of us can change any aspect of the past. If you love this person, you shouldn't even want to change their past, because all those things have made them who they are.
Yes. Like, if you're someone who values, like, needing to be with, like, another virgin, go find someone else. You can't change your own partner's history.
It's impossible.
Yes.
And it's projection of your own insecurity about not having been with someone. And again, that is fair enough to feel, but it's not then fair enough to use this jealousy against your partner.
Yeah, and keep bringing it up and making her feel bad about it when she hasn't
done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So I want to continue with the story, because this person continued. This all ended when a girl from work started hitting on him. I'm not a jealous person, and I never have been. I've been in open relationships. I've had friends of mine date my exes with my approval. No biggie. So this person seems secure.
Yes.
And they seem much more worldly to different relationships than their partner. However, when I realized this girl was flirting with him and that he wasn't even noticing, I became the jealousy monster. I felt so bitter for all the horrible things that he'd made me go through that I became the most possessive woman on earth. No, you may not give her a ride if you both clock out late at night. No, you may not go get drinks with your colleagues if she's there. You want to go anyway? Bring me. If she's there, either we both go or nobody does. I became insufferable. It wasn't even about her. I just wanted to put him in my shoes. I gave him a taste of his own medicine, made him feel what it felt like to be insulted for things that you cannot control or change, made him feel what it's like to be fighting a losing battle against your partner's demons. There have been no jealousy incidents ever since that situation. We're doing good. I still joke about that girl from work from time to time just to piss him off. He has never talked about my exes again. So I want to talk about this because she went and she wasn't feeling so much. Well, she was feeling jealous of this new girl in his life.
Yes.
But she mostly wanted him to feel how she had felt.
Yes.
And I think fighting fire with fire is like you're both going to get burned.
Like,
it's not helpful.
Yeah, stooping to his level.
Yeah.
You're just turning into what you don't want
Yeah, exactly.
in your relationship.
And maybe it worked for them because maybe they were younger when this was all happening and they've grown up and worked through it. And like she says, they're doing good now and, you know, they bring it up and maybe they can have a laugh about it. But I think unless they have had a big conversation about why both those situations.
Yes, I hope that they've actually analysed it somehow.
Well, she seems to have because she wrote this big story recognising what he did, recognising that she did the same thing and recognising where they are now. But I hope that has been a big part of their relationship.
Yes.
And because we're going to do an episode on communication, and this is one where I really hope that instead of these things just happening,
they've actually talked about it and be like, hey, I don't actually feel that way. I just wanted, nothing was working. I needed you to look at it from my view.
Yes.
Which is still, I don't agree with doing that, but.
Yeah. But everyone gets to where they need to be in different ways. And I like, what I hope they got from this is that, like, one, your insecurity can explain your jealousy, but it can't excuse it.
No.
And two, like, you are not going to love someone better through monitoring and being jealous and, like, going back through their past.
Yes.
And it's not making you a better person. It's not making them a better person. It's not making your relationship any better. So instead of, like, being solo and digging yourself in a hole, just, like, talking to them.
Yes.
Being like, I know you can't change this or control this. This is something that has been weighing on me. How can we move past it?
Yes.
It's going to save you all of this back and forth of,
Yeah.
like, this situation.
Good on her for getting past it, though. I don't
Yes.
think in the first place I would never be able to, like, just how he held it over
Absolutely.
her. Like, it's so unfair. So I hope they are
Me
doing
too.
as good as she says.
I feel like I think she seems grown up and good in the way she's been able to say his wrongs, say her wrongs, and say where it's come from. But if they both haven't, like, talked about this and come to a good agreement, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have another story which is kind of going into the more controlling side of jealousy. Again, all these stories that you sent through made us making this podcast so much easier because everyone was very forthcoming.
So honest.
Yeah, so honest and forthcoming with all the different types of way that they've either felt jealousy. And I really love, it's so many people coming forward with saying, this is how I acted and it was wrong. Not so much being like, I was the victim here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people and a lot of women, so go girlies, coming forward and saying, I did this.
Yeah.
And now I wouldn't ever do that again.
Yes.
Anyway, Abby, read us this next story.
Okay, my ex was so controlling. We were on the phone 24/7. I couldn't go to see friends or anything without him coming with me, and there were a few times he accused me of cheating for absolutely no logical reason. The first time I really noticed it was after 2 months together. I stayed at a friend's 2 hours away for a night to spend time with them. I was in communication with him. He had my location. He still freaked out, and we were basically on a silent phone call the entire drive home because I wasn't allowed to hang up, but he also didn't want to talk to me. The next time that I had a work meeting all day and then a team dinner that night, I wasn't available much that day, but still did my best to stay in talks by texting. Throughout the day, anytime I was able to text, I always got back little aggressions from him, so it's not like there was a conversation anyway. After the dinner, I was on my way home and of course had to be on the phone for a passive-aggressive phone call. I lost my cool 100%, called him out for the behaviour and said I wasn't going to remain on the phone while he was being this way and hung up. I got home around 11 and we were on the phone again, but then I hung up again because he couldn't communicate. I had to be up at like 5 the next day to go back for another meeting, but he wouldn't communicate or let me go to bed. We didn't even live together at this point. He spam texted, spam called, started spam texting and calling my work phone, started turning my lights on from his phone, like Bluetooth, to the point I had to literally unplug everything I owned to be able to go to sleep.
Okay. So first of all, that is scary.
That is so scary. He has control of all of her devices, basically. Her light.
Second of all, that's like very unhealthy. And if that's happening to any of you out there, we have resources in the show notes.
Yes.
Because that is an example of jealousy that has turned into like possessiveness, controlling. It's really toxic. Like that is something that you should get out of, really. I think we need to like take a moment to think about what a normal healthy relationship is. Because like the foundation of being with someone should be that you love them and you trust them.
Yes.
If this had started happening after 2 months, like
so early on, that just shows what kind of person he is.
Yeah, there was no trust. He needs help. Once again, whatever his insecurities are, his projections that he's putting, or his fears are not your problem.
Yeah, it could have come from a past relationship where he was the victim of these kind of things, but it doesn't matter. He can't bring that into a new one.
No, he needs to work on that. It doesn't excuse anything. It doesn't explain anything. You should never be in the position where you're like, I don't know, on a work day, having a work day, and your brain is cut in half between the job you're being paid to do and having to keep your partner at bay. And then, okay, this makes me think about where it gets scary. Obviously, the smart lights detail is really scary of him having access. Again, it kind of goes back to the online monitoring thing.
Yes.
We shouldn't have access to this much of our partners' lives or like their fucking home devices.
Yeah, their environment around them. That is frightening, being in your own home, someone from, like, it doesn't matter who it is, them being able to, like, not let you sleep from far away. That is dangerous. Like, that is weird.
This is very much like this man needs therapy.
Yes.
Because this is taking, like, surveillance and jealousy and, like, I don't even know if this is jealousy, because what is there for him to be jealous of? This is more like moving into like controlling.
Yes.
Controlling her life. I really hope she's out of this relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have written this in if she was still in the relationship. But if you know someone that is in a circumstance like this, then, well, send them this podcast episode, but also do your best to try and help them out of it, because that 100%. Is not normal.
That is not okay.
No, that is not okay. I would not want a world where anyone I knew was being like surveilled like that.
Because you can only imagine the anxiety that she'd be feeling, or like she could get anxiety from this relationship, but also him falling deeper into this controlling personality type, and
how
then
far does it go?
How far does it go, and how long is he going to carry it?
And do you know what else scares me a little bit is the real normalization of Find My Friends, and that we all have our friends' locations. And I kind of love it for girls, because I often will, like, I was over in London staying with my friends for a while, and some of them would go on nights out and I'd come home early, and then I'd be able to be like, oh my God, they're not in bed with me. Where are they? And I was like, oh, they're still at the pub. They're coming home. Or like, even I have my little brothers. He lives with us. And if he's not home at like 3 a.m, I'm just like, okay, where are you? But then that could be weaponized so easily.
Yes, by the wrong people.
Even the idea that, say, for this girl, she wanted to turn it off for a day, he would be like, the fact of her turning it off would be a red flag in his mind, a controlling, like, so it's bad when he can see where she is because maybe she's at her friend's house. It's also bad when she's turned it off.
Yes.
So I do think that this is, and I know this episode is about jealousy, but I think this one moves into a much, much more dangerous circumstance.
Yes, especially for an early relationship. I can't get over this only a couple months in. Like, me and Geordie didn't start sharing our Find My iPhones until a couple years ago.
Well, we were quite lucky because it didn't really exist for us.
Snap maps, though.
Yeah.
Snap maps existed, but it's just like it doesn't need to be there until you're like maybe living with them.
And you want to know when they're coming home and going to the supermarket.
Yes,
and like,
exactly.
Yeah. I just think, weirdly, one of the biggest takeaways from this episode is like the online surveillance of it all, which is interesting because 5 years ago, talking about jealousy, it would have been very different. It would have been like they got tagged in a Facebook photo that looked like this and they were with this girl or whatever. But now it's like oh, I saw their activity on Instagram and they liked this and I've got their location and why were they there for that long? And it's too much information. It's not
too much information we don't need.
It's
on
not
other
the
people.
information.
Like if you're in a relationship that is like heavily relied on this online surveillance, like is that even a relationship?
Or do you just have a pen? Or like should you just have, and I think the retroactive jealousy also it's a lot of it is like issues that people are carrying from their upbringings or previous relationships that, again, and this is going to be in the next episode, the way to fix these is good communication or them going to therapy.
Yeah.
Because like you said before, they shouldn't be taking these jealousy issues like that. Is probably why the last relationship ended. They shouldn't just then be taking the exact same behaviours into the next relationship because it's just not going to be good for anyone. So I do want to nail home, especially because we've had so many people being forthcoming with their stories that like the jealousy itself is not the issue. It's how the jealousy is acted on.
Yes.
Like jealousy is very normal. Very, very normal.
Yeah, very. Everyone feels jealous.
And you feel a bit crazy, especially when you're a teenager, and it does soften when you know yourself better and you trust your partner better and you reframe it as, well, not so much for relationships, but like if you're jealous of another couple or whatever, maybe you're seeing what you want.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, so I think there are ways to think about it that's better, but then there are behaviours that actually do call for, I don't want to say worry, but like either communication or getting rid.
Yeah.
Controlling, online surveilling.
Yep.
Not being able to put the phone down.
When your jealousy just turns into surveillance, like it shouldn't.
And if you find yourself doing that as well, then it's your chance to be like, oh, I need help.
Yes.
Because a lot of these stories have been coming from the other person doing it to them. Yep. But yeah, if you find yourself feeling that type of way, again, it's not crazy, but there are points that it should not surpass, I think. So, yeah, being able to, like, name the feeling first time, like, is the first, I think, port of call. And then, like, just remembering no amount of profile checking ever made anyone feel good.
No.
The less info, the better.
The more obsessed you get with it, the worse you feel.
Oh, my God.
The more you're thinking about things that aren't real.
The more you can, like, make it into such
ruminate and it just doesn't make you feel good.
And the whole point of being in a relationship is like
to feel good. Yeah, to have a safe space.
Yes. So if we talked about your story, please know that we are talking about this from a place of love. And if we haven't talked about your story yet, we might in the next 2 episodes. But again, we are so grateful that rather than us having to like give hypotheticals, we actually have people brave enough to be like, yeah, this happened, or I was jealous, or I've dealt with this. So if you are, first of all, in a relationship that's making you feel like any of these ways that we've talked about, first thing, talk to someone you trust.
Yep.
Like reach out, don't isolate yourself. Second thing, you can go to lovebetter.org.nz. They have lots of resources, lots of people that have been through the same things. You can DM Youthline on Instagram if you're concerned for yourself or for someone else.
Yep.
And if you're just listening because you want to either feel validated or you want to learn how to manage maybe some feelings that you haven't had before, our next episode is going to be on anger, and then the one after that is on communication. So we'll be talking about more of your stories, giving more advice, and hopefully making you feel validated that we've all felt this stuff. It's very normal, but we just can't have it being dangerous.
Yes.
Because we care about you.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, girlies. Okay, we will see you on the next episode.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.